Now,
What are you doing?
we're going to do a podcast.
Oh, okay.
Dave, that was the worst 12 minutes of the game. What a bad start, terrible start, and I've never seen a game, I don't think I probably have, but flip so much. 3-2 after being 2-0 down after 12 minutes. I was cold earlier, but I'm not now. What a game.
I am still cold. The first half an hour was absolutely pathetic. A friend of mine was messaging me. He was at home watching Newcastle, and he was asking me, is there any chance of a comeback at all? And I went, absolutely no chance. Literally 5 seconds later, Kone scored out of nowhere, and then we just woke up. Great finish from Kone, bit of a goal out of nothing. Rajovic does what Rajovic does, gets his head on a decent cross. I think, was it from Ken? It was from the left-hand side anyway. And then we were all over him in the second half. And I thought for a while maybe we weren't going to make the pressure count. But then unbelievable bit of skill and composure from Asprilla in a moment where he could easily try to hit that first time or try and thrash it back across the box. But just little size, little drag back, completely does the keeper, goes over the line. Porteous is following up anyway, but it was over the line before he had to, and really, really good response from a dismal first half an hour. Really professional performance. We did exactly what we needed to do, took the game to them, scored that goal, and saw it out when we had to. A little bit nervy last 5 minutes. You expect that, but yeah, really good 3 points. That
I think what I liked most about it was we went behind very quickly, bit of luck, whatever, but it was they kept their heads, they kept their game plan, they didn't lose it, their heads didn't drop in the slightest. It was almost like that sort of trust in the system that they showed, and then it sort of paid off, and hey, it paid off yet again. And I think that's what I don't think if we've been, and maybe not against a side like this, but after Saturday against Leicester, where we went behind and we did start to play a little bit, but actually this was composed, and I suppose the performance you want to have from going behind at home.
Yeah, I was a bit worried though that our heads had dropped, because it looked very quiet out there. I mean, it was quiet inside the ground. There's no way there was 16,500 in there tonight. It was quiet in the ground. The Norwich fans were singing, is this a library and all that, and it was quiet. And I thought the players' heads had dropped, but we did sort of work our way back into the game, because we were persisting with playing out from the back despite the protestations of some fans. And we worked our way up the pitch. We got that goal. We just needed a goal. We nearly scored just before, didn't we? Kone had a bit of a good chance, bit of a scramble, didn't get it. But then Kone, good shot. Keeper didn't. I think keeper got a hand to it, but couldn't keep it out. And we just needed that goal, because then it's 2-1, and we were alive again. And then getting the second zone soon after, we had the bit between our teeth. But there was a moment where I thought in that first half an hour that maybe we were just, we were going to go under, because it did look like body language was poor. Didn't look like the players were talking much. It looked like their heads had dropped. But that's what getting a goal does, and that's what that little bit of quality was. Kone has got that quality, and he showed it when he needed to. Yeah,
I think if we'd stayed that way, it would have looked like we rolled over and had our bellies tickled, David. I think
Tummy's tickled.
Right. You're going that way, Jason's here. We're going to go this way. Hey. Right, see you later, Dave.
See you later, mate.
Jason, let's talk about some of those players. Stand out for you. Who are you going to put above those goal scorers?
Do you know, they gave, I think Sky Sports gave Jake Livermore man of the match.
Now, that is the classic, because when it's a Sky Sports man of the match, that's always chosen by the co-coms. And someone who's like a professional footballer and will be more respectful of who played the best in the game, not just the goal scorers, which always is when it's the local sponsor picking it.
And I think I could have picked any of the three midfielders, to be honest. I thought they all looked good. You mentioned Kone there. I think from the team tonight we saw everything that this Watford team can be. We saw a poor start. We saw, as Dave said, heads looked to drop. We got the goal back, and then we looked confident. And all of a sudden, the passes that were going astray in the first 20 minutes were brilliant. And Kone and Kayembe in midfield would just look so comfortable on the ball. You're going to get that with Livermore. You get that pretty much every week. He's calm and comfortable on the ball. And we were getting that from Kayembe and Kone as well, receiving the ball in tight spaces. There were times where we were making the pitch huge. And those two were finding loads of space in the middle. And they're really good at doing that. And then sort of turning and carrying the ball with players around them, getting the passes off. Sort of being really patient and sort of working and trying to find the spaces. And that first 20 minutes where nothing was happening, it was all happening, and we were sort of making loads of chances in the second half. And like I say, that midfield three, the way they sort of moved around the pitch, pinged the ball around, there were times where it looked like they'd been told you can't have the ball for more than 2 or 3 touches, because it really was. It was like one touch, right, who's the next man? There were times where the pass didn't quite come off, but someone else was there to pick the ball up. The full-backs both coming in narrow, like we know Ismail seems to like them to do. But again, all around that midfield. And so for me, Kone and Kayembe alongside Livermore, I thought all three were really good tonight.
Yeah, I think normally Kone would have got the man of the match because of the goal, outside the box, into the far corner, as well as dominating. He was certain points where the ball, everything went through him. I suppose the big thing for the ongoing story is about when the substitutes were made. He clearly trusted, saw, but didn't tinker. For the first time, he didn't do the normal let's make 3 subs and that minute, for whatever reason. He stuck to it. Oh, by the way, just walking past the brand new sign there, Jason, the Yellow Brick Road. The place formerly known as Occupation Road. That was different and reassuring, I suppose. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, absolutely. I sort of kept looking down there nervously to see if he was going to tinker, because there was... When we were attacking, when we were going forward, there was no one really that you wanted to take off. I talked about the midfield playing well. Hoot and Porteous, again, were looking comfortable once we were back in the game, and Norwich were looking nervous. Barnes had come on and he really didn't prove.
Yeah, it was quite nice to see Ashley Barnes come in, and when he got that ball straight in his face, it was like, yes, get in there, Ashley, get in your face.
He didn't prove a threat at all, which is great to see.
In fact, that's when the game fell apart for Norwich, when Ashley Barnes came on.
Exactly, yeah. And so, there was attack-wise, Ken and Lewis working well down on the left. Espria still a threat on the right-hand side. Andrew's getting forward well, like we know he can do. There's really no one that you think you'd take off. Rajovic had got his goal. He's still a threat. He is a goal scorer, isn't he? There's not much else that he does, but he is a goal scorer. And when you're looking for a goal, you've got to leave him on the pitch, because he's up there on his own, but he still manages to find the space in the box no matter how many defenders are there, and he's getting on the end of chances like he did with the equalising goal. So I was looking nervously. Thankfully, he didn't change it until we went 3-2 up.
Just get run over. Yeah, and that was a perfect end to it. And
I was going to say with the sub, when he did make the subs, I certainly thought Spree was the right one, because after he got his goal, then obviously Norwich are looking to push, and he let his man go. He just sort of wandered back, and he wasn't doing the defending job that he then needed to do. So I think actually probably the right time to change it.
Bayer coming on, and about how many substitutes did he make for how many centre backs do we have on at the end of the game?
Four centre backs on the pitch.
Yeah, but it was just such a refreshing new way to look at this team, and that's what I love most about this game, the fact that we saw them lose on the weekend, go behind amazingly quickly, but you got to love it when a team sticks to their guns.
Yeah, absolutely. It was patience, wasn't it? And we were talking about it with Richard at half time, where Richard's sort of saying, we know that Ishmael's got style, and sometimes it's quite hard to see what that is and what the end goal is. I think it's because it's so patient, and you could hopefully, the way I see it, it is that sort of patient probing. They sort of move the ball one way across the back, they then go back across the other way, and then they start to move it a bit quicker as they sort of go back from side to side, and eventually they find that space on the wing. Kone will tend to go out more often on the sort of left-hand side. Kayembe, I think, was on the right-hand side, certainly in the first half, and sort of providing someone to pass to. The fullbacks are then pushing up, providing an option, and they're sort of moving the opposition around. And I thought that worked really effectively tonight. Like you said, they had to be really patient, having gone 2 goals down. But like you said, they trusted the process and got the reward. Yeah,
and definitely doing it against not a massive team, but a team similar to us, good bunch of players, a good manager. The fact that they did it against them, no reactions, but all quite nice to the fact that we've got an away game at Hull, who they did win 4-1, but they'd play Rotherham. We beat them 5-0, should I say.
Yeah,
so good.
You said Norwich, a team like us. I thought Norwich very much looked like us at times, sort of times chasing shadows. At sort of the away team, not not really sure what to do, having been 2-0 up, then sort of got back to 2-2. Their heads dropped, they seemed to be lacking in confidence, and it was almost like sort of looking in the mirror. So we've seen performances from Watford like that this season, and yeah, very much two teams very similar. Thankfully, we came out on top.
Absolutely, we did. But we've said this year we're not going to do as many reactive podcasts, but it was a really cold night, and I think we felt very satisfied that we were here to see a comeback win from Watford, just thought we'd mark the occasion with us having a bit of a natter as we walked home, Jason. By the way, I've been holding my phone, record this in this hand without my glove on, and it's absolutely freezing. I think it's gone numb. But thank you, DCW. Thank you, Jason.
Thank you.
And of course, we're back after the whole game. We'll have a quick chat about that. But also, we'll have some of your best away day stories, which some of you have been sending in audio for. If you've got anything you want to add, send us in, podcast@fromtheweekend.com. Grab your phone, give us a record and email it over to us. That'll be the weekend podcast. Thank you so much for listening to From the Weekend. Do tell your friends and do follow us on social medias @Watford Podcast. Come on, you ORNS.